I'm not going to address the Oz side of the poppy or the symbolism of the poppy in the story in The Wonderful Wizard of Oz today. But because this is Memorial Day weekend, I thought it would be appropriate to address the poppy, which is found in the story, as well as Memorial Day. In the rest of the world, the rest of the Allies, they celebrate Remembrance Day on November 11th, Armistice Day, hearkening all the way back to World War I. And so countries like the United Kingdom and Canada and France and Belgium, they commemorate Remembrance Day by wearing a red poppy. Why? Well, John McCrae was a brigade surgeon at the Second Battle of Ypres, which had many, many casualties. Now, the United States was not a part of that battle. The United States did not join World War I until 1917, and the Second Battle of Ypres actually took place in 1915. But it was a battle with many, many casualties, and depending on where you pull your numbers from, you're going to find different numbers. But let's just say more than 59,000 British, including about 6,000 Canadians, and McCrae was Canadian. You have anywhere from 10,000 to 22,000 French casualties, and you have 35,000 German casualties. So a lot of casualties during this battle. And John McCrae had a friend who was among the dead. Now, poppies are essentially a weed that grows in disturbed ground, and this very large and deadly battle had a lot of disturbed ground, and the poppy started growing there. And John McCrae took notice of the poppy and wrote a now famous poem, In Flanders Fields. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row that mark our place. And in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. There was a University of Georgia professor who was actually working with the YWCA in New York when she read that poem for the first time. Actually 2 days before the Armistice Day, on November 11th, 1918, and she wrote her own poem in response. We Shall Keep the Faith by Moina Michael. Oh, you who sleep in Flanders fields, sleep sweet to rise anew. We caught the torch you threw, and holding high, we keep the faith with all who died. We cherish, too, the poppy red that grows on fields where valor led. It seems to signal to the skies that blood of heroes never dies, but lends a luster to the red of the flower that blooms above the dead in Flanders fields. And now the torch and poppy red we wear in honor of our dead. Fear not that ye have died for naught. We'll teach the lesson that ye wrought in Flanders fields. And Moina Michael kept her promise. She not only wore the poppy, but she led an eventually successful campaign to have the poppy become the official U.S. national symbol of remembrance. And then her torch was taken up by Anna Guerin in France, who made and sold poppies to finance the restoration of war-torn France. And then Anna Guerin took the movement to England, where they too started making and selling poppies as a way to give homecoming veterans employment. They would actually make and sell those poppies, but also finance housing and other employment for those veterans. And so to this day, we have those countries, Canada and the UK and France and Belgium and Australia, who actually continue to commemorate Remembrance Day with the wearing of the red poppy on November 11th. We don't celebrate Remembrance Day on November 11th in the United States. Instead, we reserve November 11th for our living soldiers, our veterans of foreign wars. We celebrate our Remembrance Day in May, on Memorial Day, where the day that we are supposed to remind ourselves and remember the ultimate cost, the sacrifice of all the men and women who died for the freedom that we have here in the United States. And because of that, I actually take issue with two things about Memorial Day. The first thing I take issue with is the way Memorial Day is celebrated in the United States. It used to be celebrated by going to the graves of fallen soldiers and decorating those graves with the poppy. But what do we do today? We have a barbecue. And at least the other allies, they still have a visual reminder on Remembrance Day of that ultimate sacrifice, and they're teaching that lesson visually to their children and to the generation. We don't do that here. The other issue I take with Memorial Day is that in several churches and other venues, we take the opportunity to celebrate veterans of foreign wars and our living soldiers, and they deserve that honor. These are men and women who have either in the past put their lives on the line or willing to risk everything for our freedom, or they are currently now enlisted and are ready and willing and understand the cost that freedom, the cost of freedom right now, and so they absolutely deserve that honor. But we've already given away the Remembrance Day of the entire rest of the world of November 11th to our living and active soldiers and veterans, and they deserve that honor. But so do the dead. And we like to say we will always remember, we will never forget, but the attention span of Americans is so short. It has been 102 years since World War I. It's been 75 years since World War II. It's been 19 years since 9/11. I beseech you this year to keep the faith, to teach the lesson that freedom is not free. It truly only comes from the ultimate sacrifice. And please hold the torch of freedom high this year. And veterans, patriot soldiers, please help us by lighting the way.